Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of The Game Plan, live on pulse.com.gh, Pulse Sports Facebook. My name is Godfred Akoto Boafo, and as usual, I hope you've been having fun. Thank you for spending your evenings with me discussing the various sporting topics. And today, a few things to talk about. Christian Atsu, Black Stars. Pulse.com is trying to find who the best Ghanaian player of the season is. A couple of things to clear up. So it looks like it's going to be exciting. And I've been enjoying the comments that you've been sending. So keep them coming right below me, in the comment section. Just look down and start typing. Any question or comments you have on the conversations that I'm having, you can send it. And I promise this week, I'm going to give you a very, very special interview from the United States. Somebody you do not expect. So just keep watching The Game Plan. Okay. Topic number one, Christian Atsu. And yesterday, he was very, 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 very active. He was integral in Newcastle United returning to the Premier League. They beat Preston North End by 4-1. Fantastic performance, fantastic achievement from the team who were relegated the season before. And congratulations to Rafa Benitez for what he has done for this Newcastle United team. But more importantly, I want to focus in on Atsu. Now, yesterday was his 13th start of the season. He has played 30 games. He scored 4 goals with 3 assists. So pretty impressive stats for him, but not so much so with the regularity of games he played. He made more of an impact as a sub. Latter part of the season, he came to the fore. And the big question for me today is this: has he done enough to earn a permanent contract finally with an English Premier League side? Now, we know he belongs to Chelsea, who have loaned him everywhere since he was signed from Porto. He's been to Holland, he's been in England with Bournemouth, with Everton. It didn't work out there. Newcastle seems to have been the one place where he has found a home. But it is not up to Christian Atsu. Now it is up to Rafa Benitez to decide whether he feels that Christian Atsu is a right fit for his Premier League project. Now, the thing is this: a lot of you might say, oh, but he scored a good goal that qualified them. 2 seasons ago, Jonas Gutierrez scored the goal that kept Newcastle in the league. They cut him the following season. And this was a player who still had 1 year on his contract. So sometimes it's not about sentiment, but I'm looking at the overall situation. It's either Newcastle and Rafa Benitez are convinced that Atsu can do a job for them in the Premier League and make an offer for Chelsea, who will then say, okay, this is a player we don't really need. And it's very obvious. Chelsea don't need Christian Atsu. They brought back, Nathan Ake from Bournemouth, where he was playing fantastic the first half of the season. Nathan Ake has barely kicked the ball this season. First time I saw him start a game was in the FA Cup over the weekend. So Atsu's representatives need to sit down with Chelsea and say, what do you have planned for me? And Newcastle also need to sit down under Rafa Benitez and say, this chap came and played 30 games for us. He was not a regular starter, but in the games that he started, he was important. Atsu could be a useful squad member, if not a star. In Ghana, he's our star, but he's not yet an established Premier League star. He's not yet an established Premier League starter. He's not yet an established Premier League performer. But he has shown bits of pieces in the Championship. As to whether he can still contribute in the Premier League next season for Newcastle, it's a decision that is up to Rafa Benitez, and I hope that Rafa Benitez does what will be favorable to Christian Atsu. Now, I've read comments and suggestions that Rafa Benitez is looking to change the Newcastle team. In fact, there are those who have said that 70% of this team that qualified Newcastle United for the Premier League next season will not be at Newcastle, which will be strange. But then we also need to understand that traditionally Newcastle is a huge club. And Rafa Benitez has said that he signed on for 3 years to undertake a project. And that project included qualifying them, getting them to stay, and competing for European places, competing for trophies. Newcastle was the only club in the Championship that was averaging 55,000 supporters every single home game. Now, even in the Premier League, you can find only 3 or 4 clubs that average 55,000 supporters. So obviously, Newcastle have big dreams. Is Christian Atsu part of the vision for the big dreams? Only time will tell. But I feel, on the basis of what I have seen Christian Atsu do, that He deserves a new contract from Newcastle United. Rafa Benitez should take a chance on Christian Atsu. He's an unpredictable guy. He brings changes to games. He's got pace. He's got creativity. He could contribute to Newcastle in their Premier League drive for next season. So we'll all keep our fingers crossed for Christian Atsu and hope that Rafa Benitez also has space for him. And it's been it was a good day for Ghana in football yesterday, I must admit, because there were goals. Christian Atsu scored. Another kid scored. You've never heard of this kid before. His name is Kingsley Safo. Plays for a club called Sirius in Sweden. And this is the reason why I'm talking about him. Watch this goal.
Plockar poäng mot Hammarby i senaste bortamatchen. Här kommer Kingsley Safo. Safo gör det bra. Skicka bollen i mål! Inget hårt avslut, men det är ett välplacerat. Även om Söderberg är där nere så når han inte riktigt bollen som rullar in i det bortre burgaven fram till ledning för Sirius 1-0.
Fantastic for a young chap. I mean, the composure, the skill level, that is the only reason why I'm talking about this kid. We'll be on the lookout for Kingsley Safo, but brilliant technique to do that one there. One of our favorites on the show, Raphael Dwamena, also scored. He is doing the business for FC Zurich. They've almost qualified for the Swiss top division on the back of the goals of Raphael Dwamena. He's proved to be a very good summer acquisition for them. Sorry, winter acquisition, I must say. He came in January, so he's been a good winter acquisition for them. Scored a good goal for them, and he seems to be going up in leaps and bounds. We'll be expecting more from him. So that's a quick wrap up of the players who did well in Europe last night for Ghana in football. Now I'm going to stick with football, but I'm coming down to the local league because there is really a lot to talk about. Tomorrow is a match day. Yeah, Wednesday, midweek match is back. Yeah. And there's a huge game that we need to talk about. Now, I know most of you like your European football, but this is a huge game in our local calendar as well. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Ediana. Who's your money on? Who's your money on? Kumasi Asante Kotoko in 4th place, 19 points. Against Ediana, who are 6 points ahead of them in 2nd place, chasing Wafa, 25 points Ediana. Huge game. Now, the good news for you Ediana fans, and there are quite a lot of them on social media, very noisy, these Ediana fans. Godfred Akoto is back. Now, he missed 2 games due to suspension, but he is back. Now, this is the lead assist maker in the league, and he's a right back. He has 7 assists in the league this season. Set pieces, free kicks, he does everything for Ediana. He does it, and then he crosses, and Derek Sesheku will nod it in there. That has been the magic plan. So Frimpong Manso has all to do tomorrow. Now, they were not that impressive in the FA Cup over the weekend, I must admit. Fans were not too happy. They defeated Bekwai Football Youth on penalties. And Frimpong Manso's first league game in charge fully since he was announced as the interim coach is this game against Aduana. And he needs to get a performance out of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. We are hoping that he's been able to figure out what is the best system for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. That has been their bane. What is the best way to get the most out of the good players that they have? That is the task ahead of Frimpong Manso tomorrow. And Aduana are going to prove a stern test for them at the Babanyara Sports Stadium. So for those of you guys who are watching from Kumasi, I hope you go and watch the game. We'll discuss it tomorrow night when the results are due. Other matches that will catch our eye. Let's see. Tema Youth versus Accra Great Olympics. That should be a good one. Accra Great Olympics, peace in camp now between Tom Strand and Gordon Atrum. They were eliminated in the FA Cup by Young Wise. Shocking. I thought that they could get things together, but perhaps they are focused more on the league than on other things. So Tema Youth will be welcoming them, and Tema Youth have in their midst a fantastic young player everybody needs to see. His name is Jonathan Painsel, doing fantastic things. He's their playmaker. Wears the number 10 shirt for Tema Youth. Has won 4 or 5 man of the match awards. Very good playmaker. You should see him. I think that Tema Youth are going to start this game as favorites. Also playing this Wednesday, let's see, Bekum Chelsea versus Wow All Stars. Wow All Stars seem to have rediscovered their mojo, climbing up the league log like nobody's business. So that should also be a good game. I'm tipping Bekum Chelsea though to hold Wow All Stars at bay at their home grounds. Bechem United versus Ebusua Dwarfs. Bechem United very strong at home this season, so I'm picking Bechem United as my favorites for this game over Ebusua Dwarfs. Now, Ashanti Gold versus Midiama. Now, this is a crucial game for these two teams. Now, Ashanti Gold, league champions, just 2 seasons ago, seem to have fallen on really hard times. Their coach resigned, writing the most epic resignation letter. Now, those of you who didn't read Bashir Hayford's resignation letter, you missed. Unfortunately, I can't read it to you now. But they now have CK Akuno. And CK Akuno spent yesterday Shinjama with a couple of fans who had showed up at the team's training grounds in Obuasi to register their displeasure with the team's current performance. That was after the team had been eliminated from the FA Cup by Asokwa Deportivo. Just check out CK Akuno Shinjama with the fans who had gone to register their displeasure. Ash Gold against Midiama. Now, Ash Gold will be hoping that their Lenclay Stadium becomes more of a fortress because everybody is getting points there. Everybody. Midiama didn't start too well. They haven't been very consistent, but they are good travelers, have a solid squad. They've lost their player, Kwakwa, to a Finnish team. Tell me about it. Mid-league, he's gone to Finland. But I still think that they have enough quality to trouble Ash Gold at home. So I'm going to go for a draw in that game. Elmina Sharks versus Inter Allies. Elmina at the Indom Stadium, not very strong. They are good travelers, but they're not very good at home, which is pretty strange. And Inter Allies, decent team, but they don't have a recognizable goal scorer. That has been their problem. So it looks like Elmina Sharks will start this one as favorite for me. Elmina Sharks as favorites. Let's see. Bolga All-Stars, Accra Hearts of Oak. Should I take Bolga All-Stars or Hearts of Oak? I'll take Accra Hearts of Oak for the away win over Bolga All-Stars in this game. Yeah, phobia. Arrows, arrows, arrows. That's all I'll say. And the final game will see league leaders Wafa, 7-match unbeaten run, host Liberty Professionals in Sogakope, and obviously Wafa will start as favorites against my own Liberty Professionals. But Liberty Professionals Wafa games normally tend to be unpredictable. These two teams know themselves very well, very similar playing style, but it looks like this season Wafa have confidence, they have cohesion, they have belief in the project that they are running. Liberty still rediscovering themselves with Salasteta and Ignatius Osefusu. A lot of inconsistent performances from key players during the season means that they haven't lost in their last 6 matches, but they haven't won either. So, Liberty for the draw or Wafa for the win? I say Wafa will win this one, sadly, against my Liberty Professional. So, that is all for the Ghana Premier League wrap-up. Yeah. Which team are you supporting? Which team is going to win? You can send us your comments right down there. You're watching the game plan live on pulse.com.gh. Okay, let's talk some athletics now. Pretty interesting stuff happening. And you know, we discussed how Janet Amponsa had qualified for the World Athletics Championships. Well, alongside her, another girl in the United States, Agnes Abu, broke the 22-year-old national 1,500 meters women's record. And we caught up with them in the United States, and this is what they had to say on their recent achievements, Janet Amponsa and Agnes Abu.
Okay, so Janet, how do you feel about qualifying?
I am very happy for the qualification, and now all the things that I need to focus on to focus on my training for the preparation for the main tournament.
Okay.
I was very disappointed that we couldn't make to the world, really. We are still hoping to get support from the government. Very disappointed say yeah me uncle world really because in at times na uncle mutu no anka ibetimi etubi but still na you say your umbrella crowd anymore say government ni betimi support yeah ibetimi search for another competition ibetimi akutu and they qualify for the relay no.
I'm really happy because I've been working towards that record for so many years, and now finally I have achieved my goal. So I'm so glad that I made it and I break the record. And I'll still continue to work hard if I can bring it down. But I thank God for giving me the strength to make it.
So, Agnes, so last week I believe you ran 2:02.70 in the 800. So between the 1,500 meters and the 800 meters, which one do you think you have a better chance at qualifying for the IAAF World Championships?
I think I have the better chance of the 800 because it's 2:01 dead, and then I run 2:02. I think I'm kind of closer than the 15 because the 15 is 4:07, which is still like faster. But I think I have a chance of getting closer or getting the 800 than the 15.
we wish these ladies all the best. Jide Tamponsa, the only one qualified so far, but Agnes Abu feeling also very confident that she can qualify for the World Championships as well. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We want to get as many of our athletes to the World Championships as possible. Final one that I'm going to talk about, GMPC. It's not going away. Yesterday I discussed it. The day before I discussed it. We are back again because there is a new twist. New twist happening. Now, the Honorable Osechi Bensabuzo had made his position clear that GNPC had come to the Parliamentary Select Committee on Mines and Energy to tell them that they were looking at reconsidering their arrangement with the Black Stars. Now, this arrangement was a $3 million a year deal. Okay. Then, yesterday, Kwesi Appiah, Kwesi Nyantakyi, George Efree went to see the Honorable Isaac Kwame Esiama, the sports minister, who told them that, don't worry, everything is under control. The deal is not going to be cancelled. There's just going to be a small change in it. Instead of the money being paid directly to you from GMPC, GMPC are now going to pay the money to us at the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we will disburse it to you for whenever you need it. So that seems to be the new arrangement now. The new GMPC arrangement is that GMPC will pay money to the sports ministry when the Black Stars need it, and then the amount that the Black Stars need to be paid. So we are not too sure on the details though, whether it's still $3 million a year that the Black Stars are going to get. But what we have been told is that some of the money is also going to be used in grassroots football and in supporting the other national teams as well, which excites me because yesterday I did tell you that we need more investment, and that if the GMPC were taking out their money from the Black Stars, I would have been happy if they rechanneled it into other sports. And this tidbit that I have gleaned from the sports ministry, that they are going to use some of the money to look after the other national teams in other disciplines, excites me. So looks like the GMPC will, the ministry will get their wish for a bit more transparency and accountability in their dealings with the Ghana Football Association. The Ghana Football Association, I'm sure, are heaving a huge sigh of relief that GMPC money is not going away, because where else was money going to come from? It's not like the money is at the front door knocking at Ibrahim Sani and Kwesi Nyantakyi's door. So that issue, that particular scenario has been saved. Okay, as usual, before we go, we have to give you some highlights, and we dug up another crazy freestyle football session for you just to end the show.
Swish, swoosh, bang to bang, and I'm working on my body like a chimpanzee. Zang, I'm the only player with the big prize. I'm the only player with the big brown eyes. Roll like a train in the middle of the block. You better call the cops, I'm playing on the clock. Yo, swag, swag, working on my swag. Venom in the booty and I got my gang. Still run so higher. All we know is higher. 5, 4, 3. Yeah, wham, bam, super tramp. And I tipping up my hat while I boost the fans. And I hover up top, can you feel the noise? All the girls scream now cause they want the boys. Yo, making all the clouds looking like a big joke. When I run so fast and I sing so low. And you never wanna mess with me, you just dissing me. I just set me free, so just stop. We cool, we hot, we freshin'. We know we all confessin'. My bling bling catch your eye. Better pull up those shades when I'm walking by. So give a bitty high five on the street. Next time I wanna fly by, feel the heat, cause I'm on the roll. I lose control, want you to know it's how it goes. Still run so higher now. We are higher. We cool, we hot, we freshin'. We know we all confessin'. My bling bling catch your eye. Better pull up those shades when I'm walking by. So give a bitty high five on the street. Next time I wanna fly by, feel the heat, cause I'm on the roll. I lose control, want you to know it's how it and I tipping up my hat while I boost the fans. And I hover up top, can you feel the noise? All the girls scream now cause they want the...
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Keep watching The Game Plan. My name is Godfred Akoto Boafo. The hashtag is The Game Plan. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram, on Snapchat. We are here on Facebook as well. Highlights available on YouTube. Just keep watching the show. And I promise you, I've got some goodies coming up. So those of you who are watching the show, just keep making notes because I'll be asking you some questions based on previous episodes. And if you're able to catch up, some of you can win phones, you can win all kinds of jerseys, you can win all kinds of interesting prizes on The Game Plan. Have a good evening. Catch you tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.